What's going on, everybody? It's Professor Gnome, and today we're going to be taking a look at Ancient Box and some of the new updates it's gotten so that have kind of allowed it to stay more relevant in the meta as things have kind of evolved and shaped up. One of the big things that it got was another access to a new Ancient card, that being Walking Wake, which is another backup attacker that's kind of nice and a little bit better than Koraidon, but also its energy or retreat requirement is only 1, which allows you to get it out of the active a little bit more consistently, which is pretty nice. It's harder to trap it, things like that. And you're able to play down your vitality, throw an energy on it, get it out of the active if you have to, or utilize its attack. That can be nice, especially with a booster energy capsule attached, allowing you to kind of eat some damage and then get off an attack after in some cases. We also now just run 4 Flutter Mane, so that way we can also have that in the active. It functions very similarly in the fact that it only has 1 retreat cost, so we can throw it in the active, shut off some abilities, retreat it out whenever we need to. If it gets knocked out, even better, doesn't really matter, we just need stuff in the discard pile. But one of the other things that's so good about Walking Wake and why this kind of change to the deck has been pretty useful is the fact that it actually allows you to utilize Greninja in the later stages of the game, since what you can do is actually use Energy Switch. So you can manually attach to, let's say you manually attach to the Walking Wake, right? Then you Vitality, and then on your follow-up turn, so like let's say you have your Walking Wake completely powered up, then what you can do in the later stages of the game is you can place down your Greninja, or you may already have it on the board because you're already utilizing it. Grab yourself some energy switches, manually attach a dark or a water energy to the Greninja, then energy switch the water energies off your Walking Wake that you've been able to stack because of your vitality, and be able to utilize Greninja to either KO something that you've attacked with Roaring Moon and they retreated, or just ping off to low HP basics on the bench, or whatever it is that you kind of want to do in that situation. The other upgrade this deck got was actually Secret Box. It's super strong. I know some people are still playing Ancient Drum. I personally like Secret Box more, since it allows you to not only discard more cards out of your hand, which is pretty nice, but it allows you to search for pretty much everything you need in any given moment. So you're able to find a tool card, an item, a supporter card, and a stadium card, all of which each individual piece is something that is useful for us and that we like to be able to have. So it's pretty nice. It also allows us, if we need the Kieran, we're able to find it a little bit easier. If we want the Vitality, we're able to get it. If we need the boss, we only run 1 copy, so we can Secret Box in order to grab it if we really need to. We also run a bunch of Pokégear, so we're able to find our pieces that way as well. So it just kind of added a whole lot of consistency to the deck, and so yeah, that's kind of all the updates to the list. So definitely let me know what you think of the list. Definitely let me know any changes that you would make to it, or how you guys are playing it, if you're still running Koraidon, or if you agree that Walking Wake is just a little bit better. But outside of that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you want to, all that kind of stuff. And be sure to join the community Discord. It's down in the description below, as well as is the deck list for this video. So if you want to copy the deck list over, use it for yourself, try it out, climb the ladder, all that kind of stuff, it's down there. You can just port it over. And lastly, down in the description as well is the entry to our community Discord tournament. It's the second one we're doing. There's no fee, there's no anything. It's completely free to enter. There are prizes, and it's completely open to the community. The access code to get in is Gnome, G-N-O-M-E. All that can be found in the description. We'd love to have you. It's tomorrow on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. EST. And yeah, that's about it for all the announcements. Be sure to let me know what you want to see next on the channel, all that kind of stuff. And I will see you guys in Game 1 in a moment. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 1, and our opponent's going to be going first. We'll see what they're playing in a moment. We do open the Flutter Mane, which is fine for us. We have the Explorer's Guidance if we need it. We see the Radiant Greninja, which does not tell us much about what our opponent's playing, but I'm sure we'll find out momentarily. So it looks like Lost Zone, which is pretty nice for us, since again we'll have the energy switch play potentially if we're able to set that up. They're going to manually retreat into Comfey. or not. We can place down both of these. We'll go Explorer's Guidance first. We kind of have time to get things that we need. We can go ahead and grab the Ancient Booster Capsule as well, since there's not really much we want out of everything we were able to grab. Actually, grab the Nest Ball, since we can go ahead and Nest Ball here, grab ourselves the Radiant Greninja. What we'll do is we'll Pokégear first, pulling out another Vitality. We can go ahead and Concealed cards. Alright, this is not what we wanted to see. Our entire hand being Explorer's Guidance and Vitality is not fantastic. The one nice thing is that we do have Flutter Mane in the active, which shuts off the not only the Greninja, but it also shuts off the Comphase that they bring into the active. They will be able to force us to retreat, but that's fine. We can always bring whatever we want back in later. For now, we will put up the Greninja, because why not? We're going to go Explorer's Guidance on the next turn. What we're really looking for is another energy switch, and like a water energy would be pretty hype. They Nest Ball for Iron Hands. They can bring in the next Comphase. They're still pretty far behind on their Lost Zone stacking, since we delayed them one turn before with Flutter Mane. They do get themselves into the Colress, which obviously helps them out a bit. If we have to retreat our Radiant Greninja out, we always have that as an option. They do get rid of Boss and a Lost Vacuum. That actually is pretty nice for us. It's nice how much, how many resources they already put onto the Radiant Greninja. Like, it took up one rescue board, it's taking up one extra energy. So their Comphase should be trapped for another turn. Yeah, they're just stuck to manually attaching energies. This is one of the reasons why Flutter Mane's so strong. Like, just being able to sit it in the active. So they are going to go Prime Catcher. They bring in their Cramorant so they can start attacking. We do have the option here to attempt to KO this if we like really wanted to, where we could go Vitality, attach 1, draw 3, hope we hit another energy. But I don't know how worth it that is, so I'm just going to go Explorer's Guidance. We do get the Earthen Vessel, which is kind of nice, and we can go ahead and grab ourselves a new Roaring Moon. We definitely get rid of some pieces there that I am not totally happy with getting rid of, but that just kind of is what it is. What we can do, though, is grab ourselves another Water, another Dark. We can Concealed cards away the Water energy. We can place the PokéStop down, spin that, because again, we're really just looking for one energy switch. Fortunately, we didn't find it, but we did get another energy in the discard pile. So we can pass our turn here. And on the following turn, what we'll do is we'll just bring in the Roaring Moon. We can always Nest Ball for a new one. They do get themselves a Switch Cart and a Mirage Gate. Obviously not super ideal. But as long as the Comphase are there, we can just kind of sit on this energy switch until we get the other one. We just haven't had the best luck in finding the other ones. So that's one switch cart and one switch used. So 2 switch carts. They could go Mirage Gate. Wait, how many? Yeah. They could go Mirage Gate if they want it. There's another switch cart. They could knock this out and the Flutter Mane, which is ironic that they're using their Greninja when that was kind of our plan. But it's not the biggest deal because, again, we can just power up the Roaring Moon, come in, knock this out. So, I mean, they'll take 2 prizes, but that's not really the biggest deal in the world. We'll be able to attach the Ancient Booster Capsule, so we'll live an attack from the Roaring Moon EX, so it's not really anything we, like, drastically need to worry about. And we can even boss it later on if we, like, want to make sure we're getting the KO on that. So we can place this down. What we'll do is Nest Ball, get ourselves the next Roaring Moon EX. We'll throw down the Ancient Booster Capsule. What we will do, we'll PokéStop first. We get ourselves a Super Rod for later. We'll go Vitality. We can attach 1. And we'll attach 1 for now. There's our Secret Box, which is pretty nice. We'll manually attach this for now. What we can do is hold on to the Secret Box, since that'll guarantee us the play, like, whenever we want to. Like, whenever we decide we want to do the energy swap, we can make that play. So for right now, we will knock out the Radiant Greninja. Let them bring in whatever they want. Kind of the mapping for this that I'm planning in my head is they're going to bring in Cramorant here, right? More than likely, they're going to attack into us with Cramorant to set up a KO with the Ampy very much, since unless they have a second vacuum available to them, they're not going to be able to remove the Ancient Booster Capsule. And even if they do, they don't have a way to damage boost in order to, like, get the knockout with Ampy very much on the Roaring Moon. So they have to attack me first with Cramorant, which means I can boss to pull in the Roaring Moon EX, or the Iron Hands EX, and look for the knockout on that early. Or what I can do is retreat this out, bring in the Greninja. Wow, they did find the second lost vacuum off my own PokéStop. That's kind of annoying. But what I can do as well, like I said, is I can retreat this out if I want to, like, kind of preserve the prize card situation. I can go ahead and energy swap and do the play with Greninja, knocking both these out, and just giving myself a little bit more time to power up to knock this out if I want to. Kind of just depends on our situation. We'll just have to check our damage numbers on the next turn. And we'll see what we top deck into. They go Mirage Gate. So in theory, they could also power up the Blood Moon or Saluna if they want to do that, which will get the KO, but I wouldn't think that that's incredibly worth it. Yeah. So they're going to go with the first play. They're trying to weaken this in order to knock out that, or to use Ampy very much to knock me out. We're only hitting for 180, but we can get ourselves the pieces that we need. So what we can do here is we'll go Secret Box, discard this, and we'll get rid of get rid of the PokéStop. What we'll be able to do is grab ourselves a Vitality, the Energy Swap for the next turn, and the Pokégear, or the, sorry, not the Pokégear, the Booster Energy Capsule. That we're hitting for 200. We'll be able to... Yeah, so here's pretty much what I'm thinking. We can go Vitality here. Attach the Water Energy and the Dark Energy. We can retreat. Bring in our Greninja. Energy switch. Alright. For a second it was like bugged, like it wasn't letting me move it, and I got like actually panicked that the game was not going to work. So we got that. Like I was so worried that it like randomly bugged and was not going to let me play the game. So we can put these down. We have the ability now that will pretty much be good to go no matter what we do on our following turn in order to like get whatever KOs we're looking for. They can amp us for 2 more prize cards, but that's fine. We can knock this out. They'll go down to 2, 1. We'll be at 3, 1, and then we'll be able to KO this or the Cramorant whenever we want. So from here, we can go ahead and Moonlight Shuriken, doing 90 and 90. We'll get rid of the Dark and the Water Energy. Moving both of these from play. Taking 2 prize cards. And then also the other thing is, and like more than likely they'll be able to do it, right? But by keeping this in the active, it forces them to use... Okay, so I was going to say, more than likely they'll be able to do it, right? But by keeping that in the active, it forces them to have to like find the switch or manually attach the energy or whatever. Like we said, realistically, we're going to get amped here, where they're going to gain 2 prize cards. So it'll be a 2 to 3 situation, but we're going to be able to come back in, knock this out without really much effort. So they'll take 2 prizes. Then what we can do is bring in our Roaring Moon EX. We'll attach. We can go Vitality. Throw on the Dark Energy onto both. Get ourselves some new cards. Manually attach here. Now, all we have to do is we can use our Earthen Vessel. Get rid of the other Roaring Moon in our hand. We don't need to draw anything because we don't have anything. But that gives us the damage numbers in order to make sure that we're KOing the... Like, we're making sure that we're KOing the Iron Hands here. And then on our following turn, what we can actually do is... So we can go our Vengeance here. Knock this out. We'll go down to 2 prizes. There's a Flutter Mane and an Earthen Vessel. And then, so pretty much what's going to end up happening here is like, so they can go Ursaluna, right? Hypothetically, they could also go into something like Sableye. But it doesn't matter, we only need 1 more prize card, and Sableye won't be able to do enough spread damage to KO us. Even if they were able to find, like, a 3rd Lost Vacuum and remove our Booster Capsule. Even if they found double and got rid of both, there's really nothing they can do. The benefit here as well of Walking Wake is that, let's say they bossed it, they wouldn't be able to trap us either. So there's pretty much nothing that they can really do from this point. So we can bring this in. There's our other energy switch. A little late. We can just Vengeance, knock this out, hit for 260, and there's the game. A little bit closer than like we would have wanted it, but it wasn't actually as close as it appeared. I just wanted to be able to show off the Greninja play. So that like there was some different plays we could have made for sure throughout the game, but I just wanted to be able to show off how the Greninja thing works, since we weren't really at threat of losing at any point. But yeah, that's going to be game number 1, and I will see you guys in game number 2 in a moment. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 1. Our opponent won the coin flip and opted to go first, which is totally fine for us. We can go with a Roaring Moon in the active. We'll see what our opponent's playing based on the look of it. We do see whole lot of buddy Poffins. I don't know why that was so hard to say. And a rare candy. So I assume it's probably like a Lost Zone Dracopult engine, if I had to guess. There's the Manaphy immediately on open, which is kind of annoying because it ruins our Greninja play, at least as of right now. But we can always utilize it later on if we're able to knock out the Manaphy here, or if we want to boss it up later, just to kind of get it out of the way. But for right now, it's not the biggest deal in the world. If we get into an energy, which obviously we can do with the Earthen Vessel, and Greninja play, we're actually going to be able to just start taking immediate KOs on the Comfey and slow their game down, which would be pretty good for us. It's kind of funny that we ran into Lost Zone 2 games in a row. So what we'll do here is go Earthen Vessel. We'll get rid of the... Do we want to get rid of the Guidance? Let's get rid of one Super Rod at this point. We'll go Dark and Water, just in case we're able to set up the Greninja later. What we can do is Nest Ball, grab ourselves the Greninja. I guess technically we should have gone double Dark. Would have actually been the better play. We'll go Dark. Then we'll Pokégear here. We can grab ourselves the Guidance. Manually attach. We can go... Let's go Artisan for one more. Yeah. Alright, so we'll grab that. And there's the other Dark Energy. Technically, we kind of got bailed out there. What we should have done is grabbed a second Dark Energy off the Earthen Vessel to guarantee that we were going to be able to make this stack this turn. I was just kind of fairly confident that I would be able to get into the other one with how much we were going to be able to like kind of dig into our deck and draw with. But the correct play would have been to make this a Dark Energy rather than a Water Energy. So, you know, keep that in mind. That, you know, if you're like, so I guess something I should note here, because I don't know if I've like talked about this before. If you're like in tournament, think about like, obviously think about like what you're playing and like be much more careful and all that kind of stuff. Don't just play how I am, where like I'm kind of just playing things down at the moment. Not that I'm not thinking about my moves, because obviously I am. I'm trying to like explain stuff to you guys. But there's also stuff that I think about in the background that obviously I don't get to say. Like I don't get to like narrate all my plays out every time. So like in a situation like that, it's like, yes, the going for the Dark Energy is like what you want to do like in tournament. So because you want to make sure you're always making like the most optimal play you can make at any given time. But the reason why I didn't in that circumstance is I don't really like need to, if that makes sense, in that moment. So like I can go Secret Box here, get rid of this, get rid of this. I'll hold on to the energy. No, get rid of the energy. So that way I can grab Vitality. I can grab myself Earthen Vessel. Grab myself PokéStop and another Ancient Booster Capsule. But yeah, so like if you're in tournament or like you're trying to make the absolute most optimal play at any given moment, it would have been better to grab the Dark Energy there. But right there, it's like, again, I'm fairly confident I'm going to be able to get the card I want anyway. So it works out for me all the same to grab one of each rather than just the Dark Energy, since I want to get the Water Energy in the discard pile later on anyway. So that way I can attempt to make like an energy switch play. If I can ever get to this Manaphy, which they keep, you know, retreating, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. We'll concealed cards here. I hope all that made sense, whatever I was like rambling about. So we'll grab this. Grab the Water Energy. There's one of our energy switches. We can go Vengeance here, knock out another Comfey. We'll take prize card number 5. And then we could Superior Energy Retrieval on the next turn. Obviously, it's only for the 1 energy, but it allows us to draw a Greninja. It's not like a good play, but it's something we could do if we really wanted to. But we also have the option just to kind of sit back and keep attacking for right now, as they have to set up their Dragapult, which is going to take them time to do anyway. If we're able... Oop, I had to like kind of cough there. If we're able to get into the boss, obviously the first thing we're doing is knocking out the Manaphy, so that way we can set up our Greninja and just kind of start taking knockouts. But as of right now, we kind of have to chill out on that. We'll go PokéStop here, see if we can get ourselves into like a Pokégear or something. We do get ourselves into the Pokégear. Looking good. Got the boss's orders, looking even better. Hold on, boys and girls. Sports fans around the world, we might be in it. So, what we can do here is we can knock this out. Get one more prize card. Ultra Ball doesn't really matter, but it does get us some stuff in the discard pile. So we're waiting on a Vitality and one more energy switch. And then we have pretty much everything else is free game. We can even use like the Spirit Energy Retrieval if they decide to knock this out, since we'll be able to pick up the Dark Energies and utilize everything else as like discard fodder to help get us into our pieces. So there's the switch cart, so they are going to go and knock out the Roaring Moon, which again works out fine for us. Depending on what we top deck, it's all relatively the same. We can even put the booster capsule down to protect this, even though it won't be KO'd on the next turn regardless. Also, I don't get this. Why is Dragapult a Terra type if it's already a Dragon type? Like, I know that it's Ghost and Dragon in, like, the actual, you know, like, games and stuff like that. Like, it's actual typing. But I don't get why it's a Terra type, because it's already Dragon. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Oh, hey, there's the Vitality. So, what we'll do here... Do we want to spin first? Let's see what's in our deck before we go for this play. So we have 2... Alright, so here's the play we're going to make. We're going to attack with the Roaring Moon to set up the KO on this. We'll go Nest Ball, I don't really want the Flutter Mane. Let's go PokéStop first real quick. The Pal Pad's okay. Alright, we'll go Vitality here. 1 and 1. See what we get. Alright, so we have all the energy swaps and things like that. We'll play down... The real issue now... We can get rid of this. Grab ourselves 2 more Dark Energy. We can go ahead and Concealed Cards one of these away. There's the Kieran. We'll Pal Pad back in, Vitality, and a Boss. We should have another Super Rod, right? Or is it prized? Ooh, it's prized. That's not great, because I'm not going to have another Roaring Moon to work with. Which means I do have to retreat this and do the Greninja play on this turn. Alright. So we're going to retreat this. Go Greninja. Attach 1. We will Pal Pad again. Put another 2 Vitalities in the discard pile or into the deck. We'll manually attach. And then we'll go... no, we'll leave that out. How many energy do we have in the discard pile? 4? Okay. So we'll Moonlight Shuriken here. We'll do 90. And at this point, we actually just want to end up doing 90 damage to this, right? Just to make this easier to KO. Right? Because now we're hitting for 230. Alright, perfect. So we get ourselves 1 more prize card. We get this thing set up. We hit for 230, so all we have to do is bring in Roaring Moon and get ourselves into 1 Vitality. We have like 3 in the deck, so we should be fine. We had to pivot the play a little bit because of the fact that we aren't going to have a Roaring Moon to work with on our next turn. The boss's orders there is actually kind of fine. Because, same thing, if we can get into our... If we get into Vitality, the outcome's the same, because we can actually just snipe out the... We can just snipe out the Cone Phase instead. And we only need 1 energy switch left to be able to do this with. So, there's the Earthen Vessel. Throw that down, because, like, why not? We'll get rid of this. We'll see what are our odds. They're okay. What we'll do first is we're going to spin the PokéStop. Okay, not ideal, but not the worst. What we can do now is we can go Pokégear here. Perfect. We get the Vitality. So we can go Vitality. Throw the Water Energy down. Draw ourselves some cards. None of which are important, because what we're going to do is just use them to discard for the Superior Energy Retrieval. We'll grab all the Dark Energy, because why not? But we don't really need them. Really what this is for is so we can go Energy Switch. Place down the Dark Energy. We'll Concealed cards just for the fun of it. Cool. And then from here, we'll just snipe out the 2 Comfeys, which they predicted and correctly FF'd. This is like the power of why this deck is so good now, is just having the option to energy switch into the Greninja gives you such a pivot. Because, okay, like, let's say, hypothetically, they didn't boss up our Roaring Moon and knock that out, right? Like, they chose to knock out the Greninja in the active. That was totally fine, because the 90 damage we were able to put on the Drake made it so we were guaranteed to be able to, KO it off the, what's that card? Like, off us bringing the Roaring Moon back into the active, because we only had to hit for, like, 240, which we were already doing. So, it's like, just having the flexibility of Greninja and being able to actually utilize it is so good. Now, granted, we were in matchups against Lost Zone 2 different times, 2 different Lost Zone variants. Like, so obviously the Greninja is even more powerful than normal. But even more so right now, that's going to end up happening just because NAIC happened, where Lost Zone won. So right now you're going to end up running into a ton of Lost Zone, which just makes this deck even better because your Lost Zone matchup is so good because you're also trading 1 prize for 1 prize. And so, like, the deck's just super good. But yeah, we'll jump into game 3 in a moment, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 3, and our opponent's going to be going first. We lost the coin flip, but it doesn't really matter. We'll go Roaring Moon into the active for now. We'll hold off on everything else. We'll see. We do have Energy Switch and 1 Water Energy available, which could lead into some Greninja plays, but realistically, we're probably not going to be able to utilize them in this matchup. So we'll go Flutter Mane here, place down the Greninja. We'll go ahead and Concealed Cards, draw 2. We do get ourselves a Pokégear, where we don't hit anything. A little bit unfortunate. We'll drop the PokéStop, though. We will spin that. We get an Ultra Ball, which isn't too bad, but we'll go Explorer's Guidance first, where we find a Earthen Vessel. We do find an Earthen Vessel, an Energy Swap, and a Vitality, but we're just going to go ahead and grab the Vitality on its own for right now. The benefit that we have is that we can actually just go ahead, discard this. Like I said, we're not really looking to get off the Energy Switch play this game. So we're going to grab ourselves Double Dark Energy. And what we can do is just manually attach 1 and pass our turn for now, since we're at no threat of getting KO'd on our next turn. The benefit for the Chien-Pao matchup is that not only are we a 1 prize deck into a 2 prize deck, but also the threshold to knock out Chien-Pao isn't that bad. Like, just having to hit 220 isn't really that big a deal, which is a lot easier than having, so against something like, okay, that's actually kind of a massive PokéStop for us. The fact that it discarded their Barbarrel and their Iron Hands is, like, kind of huge. But, like I said, the main thing of not having to hit numbers right now, like, against something like, let's say, like Dracopult, that's like 300, right? It's like, alright, cool, we're able to... We're kind of able to get the cards we're looking for, like, get the damage numbers, rather, that we're looking for, like, much easier. So, we'll spin the PokéStop again first. We're just looking to get things in the discard pile. That's kind of huge. Yep, and they're just going to concede. We were going to be able to knock out the Chien-Pao pretty much immediately and kind of close that game out without much effort. Them losing out on the Barbarrel there was pretty huge, and obviously same thing with the Iron Hands. So kind of a very simple Game 3, not really very eventful, but the point was kind of all the same. Obviously, our opponent didn't get the best hand in the world. There wasn't much they could really do with it. But unfortunately, it just kind of is what it is sometimes. It's the game we play. But that's going to be game number 3. Obviously, very uneventful one for sure. but I'm trying to keep the videos a little bit shorter. I know that the reception has been a little bit mixed. Some people want them longer, some people wanted them shorter. So I'm kind of trying to do like a middle ground of like 40 minutes to like 30 to 40 minutes, rather than like an hour, but not making them too short. So still, you know, give your feedback. Let me know if you want, like, you always want 3 games, or like, well, 3 full games. This is like 2.5, with how fast this one went. But yeah, give me the feedback on that, because I'm still trying to find out exactly where that like video length, you know, sweet spot is, that everybody kind of wants. So yeah, give me some feedback on that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Let me know what you want to see in the next video, and be sure to look out for the upcoming tournament that is tomorrow at the time of this video's release, June 15th at 6:30 p.m. EST. So yeah, be sure to join that. Like I said in the original part of the video, it's completely free. There's no entry fee, no anything. There are prizes. And so yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.